Well, I got it.
I got it.
Of course I got it.
I got it right after work.
That's right. I got the COVID-19 vaccine.
Because self-care.
I got it because I wanted to get back to my normal.
I was one of the first ones that got it. And now, I'm helping others get theirs.
So let's get it together. Sign up and get your vaccine today, and let's stop COVID in its tracks. Visit IGotItMS.com.
We are all relentless in our pursuit to get better.
I honestly just need more accuracy and more distance.
Okay. Contact is solid. Spin rate's a little out of control, costing you a lot of yardage. Let's make some adjustments here. And I'm going to move the weight. So I put it all the way back in the heel. Allow the club face to square up a little easier for you.
Love that one.
You know you can get better. We know we can help.
It's Pink Friday 2021, and here's a message from one of our survivors.
Hello, I'm Robin Roberts, and I am happy to join the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer. As a breast cancer survivor and proud Mississippi native, I'm honored to support Pink Friday, a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. We all have a part to play in this fight, and by working together, one day we are determined to find a cure for breast cancer. Get your tickets now to support this wonderful event.
Okay, so how long have you been coming to Stan's?
Since 1987. I've forever loved Stan's Burgers because the people, they're real people. They help the community and their family own and operate. And the food, the quality, and service has always been phenomenal. And anywhere I'm at, I always recommend people to them. It's great food, and you get enough love for your money. If you need a good place to eat and you want a good environment to support the community and support the effort of the Jackson community, I recommend Stan's Super Burger to you because, like I said,
Well, I got it.
I got it.
You already know. I got the COVID-19 vaccine.
I got it because you can only do prom once.
I got it because my team got big buzz this year.
I got it because my white needs all the help he can get.
I got it because this school year is going to be awesome. I got it because I missed my friends.
Sign up to get your vaccine today. Find out how at IGotItMS.com.
Joy, let me tell you something, everybody in Cadillac and Jackson, you did that. Look at this thing, man. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Boy, it's so clean and so dirty. Let me let you peek inside for a minute. Look at this. Yeah. Cadillac and Jackson, I love you and I appreciate you. God bless you.
Oh, let's go! Hey, it's time to hydrate.
Best kept secret in sports. No longer a secret.
Well, I got it.
I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the Pregame. With your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready, because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the Pregame.
Welcome into the Pregame Show. It is Bishop and Neely live from the Southern Heritage Classic here at Memphis, Tennessee. Jackson State and Tennessee State get it on tomorrow. Neely, what's going on, my brother?
Man, can't complain. We are the Dirty Dime, Memphis 10 the key, like Project Pat would say. Project Pata.
You better believe it. Yes, sir. I tell you what, man, it is a phenomenal comeback up here for the Southern Heritage Classic. But I tell you what, and you so eloquently put this last week, it is a 13-chapter book. Chapter 1 is put to rest. Jackson State 59-3 win over the Florida A&M Rebels last week.
Yeah, make your finger turn the page. We do have to do some retrospective things because coming off of that victory in some of those team meetings, of course, you're looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly mistakes that were made, things that you can fix. Because whereas that game was 59-3, Coach Prime is adamant about it. We made too many mistakes, too many penalties, left too many points on the board. So we're going to dig into some of that today, and then we're going to get into Saturday, tomorrow, against Tennessee State for the Southern Heritage Classic, Chapter 2 of 13.
Chapter 2 of 13, no doubt about it. All the superlatives have been said. When you take a look at Shador Sanders'
All the what now?
All the superlatives. Everybody. They talked about it all week. All the superlatives. Shador Sanders, 29 of 33 last week, 323 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. The running game got off as well. They rushed for over 130 yards, 139 to be exact. The defense, what else can you say about the defense? I tell you what, it was a tremendous Sunday of football for the Jackson State Tigers.
Yeah, it was, man. Sunday football for a college team in an NFL stadium, and all phases of the game showed up. Special teams got a blocked punt and scored a touchdown. Special teams made extra points. Special teams made a field goal. The offense scored touchdowns to multiple receivers. The defense scored in that game. So everybody showed up. And I'm telling you, when it comes to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, man, it's perfection on both. So in the lab and tinkering and looking at things where we left meat on the bone because he doesn't want to give anybody a chance, as he puts it. Where he's strong, kill a gnat with a sledgehammer. So he wants perfection. Clean up those penalties that we had. 130, I think, plus yards and penalties that we had in that game. Far too many for a championship team or a team that wants to.
No doubt. I tell you what, and when you kind of take a look at that game, as fans, we tend to grade and give all the A's, and it was a perfect game for us fans. But that's not, not so fast. That's not quite how the coaches see that FAMU game. There's always things to improve upon, get ready for Tennessee State, and our coaching staff being who they are, they pointed out all those things this past week.
Yeah, well, every game you're not going to be up for the first games. So the mistakes that we were making, jumping off sides, defensive holding, those kind of things, illegal man downfield, those kind of things are drive killers or drive sustainers for the other teams. You get deep into the schedule and people now have film on you, know your tendencies like we have learned other folks. When these games get tighter, then the coaches know that those kind of mistakes keep other ball clubs in the game. You got to clean that up early in this season because you don't want to get midway against a Campbell that everybody sleep on. All of a sudden you're jumping off sides and getting silly penalties and giving them extended drives that lead to points and putting yourself in the hole. So his main mindset has been, we've got to clean that up.
Well, no doubt about it. Our coaching staff, they took a look at the film this past week. Pregame show, of course, being embedded with this Jackson State football team. And Coach Dennis Thurman talked about the defense. He had his assessment of that 59-3 drubbing of Florida A&M. Let's take a look at what Dennis Thurman said in regards to that game last week.
Correctly.
was Dennis Thurman talking about his defensive squad last week. Neely, paraphrase, man. What was DT trying to convey to his defensive targets?
Yeah, y'all bear with us. We're going to clean up that audio and bring it right back to you. But that's a section of the team meetings where Coach Prime likes to talk about the good and the bad. So the coaches go up to the big screen and they show 3 good plays that they want to relive and want to redo in this next game. They show 3 bad plays and they call out the players that were involved and said, look, this is what we have to clean up. This is what we cannot do when we get up to Tennessee State. So that was Dennis Thurman leading the team through that conversation as defense coordinator. So you had that presentation from the defensive coordinator, Dennis Thurman, offensive coordinator, Brett Bartolome, as well as special teams coach, Alan Ricard. And as Chuck mentioned, Pregame Show was there for every step of it and going to show you guys their assessments because there were some plays that, Chuck, we want more of. But there were certainly some plays that they never want to see again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you take a look at it, that was Dennis Thurman with regards to the defensive side of the ball. Brett Bartolome, he also, like you said, he had those 3 plays that he wanted to point out to his offensive targets. Let's take a look at what Brett Bartolome, offensive coordinator for Jackson State, had to say with regards to his offense.
All part of it.
Okay, we jump off sides. It has nothing. I love your talent, 4-2. I love your talent. You're young. Fuck the fact that you're young. It has nothing to do with you being young. It has to do with you being undisciplined, not focused. The reason why you jump off sides. Make sure you guys paying attention. Point of emphasis. You can't do things that are going to hurt our football team. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
You got to make sure, okay? Then, hey, can't happen. It was a point of emphasis all week. Go on, Trevor, next play. Okay? Then, hey, we're playing jacks. We're coming from the left. We're playing 2-man to the trip side. Our safety cannot, how many times, 9, did I tell you on the sideline? Greg, how many times did I tell you on the sideline, you got to get over the top when you have 3 receivers to that side? Did I tell you that on the sideline? Okay, where do you go? You start straight back instead of getting over the top. 2-7, how could you help him? Say that again. You got to get your hands on him. You don't, hey, he's going to help you on the deep ball. You're not helping him. You just open the gate and let him run. Is that how the defense is supposed to be played? Then play it right, okay? Play it right. That play right there, and the next one coming up, right here, go, move to the next one. We, 10, 19, we told you guys. Petty, where you at? Did we not tell you guys, the guys, they're more quick than fast, right? Watch your coverage right here. Tell me why you needed to hold him. Why'd you need to hold him? You didn't, okay? But you don't trust your ability right here. You're more talented than you think you are. Trust your ability. You can cover these guys with your eyes and your feet, okay? Then you make a play, you finish with your hands. Keep us from getting a sack. Okay, now we move to the good plays. Coach, we have 4, still 3. Okay, all right, look at this. Great rush, but also back here. Look at the coverage. Tell me where this quarterback's got a chance to throw the football. If he does, he's got to throw it in a tight window. Okay? We get a sack because we execute the defense the way it's supposed to be executed. Next. All right? Hey, they had run this play earlier versus man. They thought we were going to be a man again. We were not. Okay? This is a big-time hit, and it began to change the momentum for us on defense. Great job, Baron. Great job by you. Okay, great job reading the quarterback. He stared down the receiver, got him hit. Okay, it's a great job. Okay, next. Okay, here. I don't like the fact that we didn't get lined up. Go back. You guys got to understand, tempo teams, gentlemen, we have to, that play is over. That last play is over. We got to get up off the ground, have attention, okay, over on the sideline, get the call, and get lined up. Some of you guys like to mill around. You cannot mill around. That play is over. Get up, focus on the call, get lined up, and let's play football. Look at us. We're not lined up the way we're supposed to be. But one guy that was lined up made a heck of a play. Okay, made a heck of a play. Another momentum changer. Some guys were ready, some guys weren't. Everybody has to be ready. Last one, we have 4 instead of 3. Okay? Hey, great pressure on the quarterback. Great rush. Okay? Go back, Trevor. Go back. Great rush. Okay? I love it. I love it. Pressure. Gotta watch him. Gotta get him covered. We pick up a fumble. Here's the part that bothers me. We should have scored with this. What do we do in practice? When we get a turnover in practice, we do not turn and go. Okay, all of a sudden, it happens in a game, and watch guys try to turn and go, but it's not a habit. It's not, we don't block people. We don't block people. Who's gonna stop us right here? Who's gonna stop that? Should we be stopped, or should that ball be in the end zone? The ball should be in the end zone. Block somebody, okay? Make the transition, gentlemen. We can be better.
Let's reset that. We can be better, Neely. Alignment and assignment. Coach Dennis Thurman talking to his defense.
Man, 59-3, and it ain't good enough.
It ain't good enough. You better believe it.
59-3, and it ain't good enough. That's the standard. And I tell you what, Chuck, I am outside the team meeting room here at Memphis Hilton, and Coach Bruce just brought a sermon. I mean, you can hear the room shaking because, Coach Bruce does that last motivational speech. And just on the other side of this wall, and they went crazy for Coach Bruce. But, man, back to that Dennis Thurman clip, that defensive presentation, just letting the guys know, even the positive play where you had Juice pick up the fumble for the scoop. He wanted to score. We should have scored on that play. That's something you work on in practice, and when the game happened, we made the cut to the boundary instead of cutting to the field. So there's a lot of things out there this team focused on this week to clean up. And they know, man, they left meat on the bone. That 59 points wasn't good enough. It wasn't what they were really capable of. So looking forward to this Saturday in Memphis, Tennessee, to just open up all phases of the game and play a perfect game of football.
Yeah, that was Coach Dennis Thurman talking to the defense. Offensive, meat left on the bone as well. And you say meat on the bone, 59-3. Coach Brett Bartolone, he also had some things to point out for his offensive staff, Neely. Let's take a look at that.
This is the last play of the drive right here, right? Okay, it's 3rd and 8, guys. It's a 3rd and 8. This is a play we've been practicing since, the beginning of camp, okay, and all across the summer, okay? Really great protection here, guys. Really great protection across the board. Nice job setting the protection center. We're ripping it to the 3 technique where we think we're getting that twist. Nice job, right guard, right tackle, passing off the twist. Awesome. Awesome. We're fast on the mesh. The H grabs the safety. Okay, Shane Hooks, nice job attacking leverage and breaking flat, man. They're playing super soft, even down here in the 8-yard line. Quarterback, this is exactly where the ball has to be in this coverage. That's great timing, great overall execution by everybody on this play. Go ahead, go to the next. Here we go, this is ace right, H cross. Okay, there's a couple things I want to point out here in this play. One, overall, I mean, just wait till the ball leaves. Look at this protection we have. Keep playing until that ball leaves his hands, Coach Zim. We can sit back there, we can drink our morning coffee, we can take a look at the paper, man. We can do whatever the hell we want back here. Unbelievable job by the offensive line, okay? And what really helped on this play too, you'll see it a little better from the tight. Watch Tito here, man, okay? Watch him chip the hell out of number 31 right here. This guy had a long day, all right? He had a long freaking day. You're going to watch as Two's throwing this ball, and you see it from the sideline, okay? At this point right here, he crumples down, and then he starts running. Okay, well, he couldn't run. He starts jogging to the sideline as this ball's in the air, okay? We made that guy give up, man. Unbelievable job. Great physicality on the chip and great throw and catch, okay? Great freaking protection up front. Nice job, Rico. Nice job fighting through the PI, using your hands, going back to the ball. Go ahead, next clip. Okay, just really, really good job running the ball, guys. Really well executed, okay? We got exactly what we want. Nice job hitting that thing, Tito, okay? The same side zone, right? This is fire. Go ahead, play from the tight, Coach Zim. Great job just coming together, hip to hip, leverage right there. Okay, go check this out right here. Left guard, left tackle. Okay, 4-eye, wide 9. What are they going to do? They're going to twist. Nice job, left tackle, left guard coming together. Just got to cover them up, man. Right? Just got to cover them up, just like we talked about all week. Nice job piping that thing, Tito. Okay, go ahead, Coach. Okay, now on to the back, guys. I think it was like 3rd and 5 right here. We're trying to tempo. So one, we didn't get lined up fast enough. Okay, guys aren't looking to the freaking sideline. Okay, once the play's over, look to the freaking sideline, get the call. We were getting set here, and they, even when we were slow, they still had guys miss a line. We could have plugged 2 guys here for the first down. So that's one, we got to go faster. But 2, we just got to have an idea where the sticks are at, man. Okay, it's 3rd and 5. If you're running Houston right here, I need you to get to 6. Okay, I need you to get a yard past the first down marker. Does that make sense, receivers? Okay, we got to have a sense of the sticks, man. Okay, so here we were a yard short, man. We ran about a 3-4 yard route. Caught it short, got tackled short. Even when you catch, get vertical. Try and get vertical. Okay, so now we got to punt. Next. Okay, 2nd and long, we put ourselves in a bad situation. Need anything on 1st down, all right? You just got to pass off the choice. We know it's coming. Don't stick your face in there, left guard, all right? Don't stick your face in there. You know it's coming. 4-eye, wide 9, here it comes. Expect it, set together, punch and stay square. Go to the tight end. You know it's coming. 4-eye, wide 9. Punch, stay square. Okay, next. Okay, surge. All right, we were in the 2nd and 5 right here. We just got to throw the ball to the back. Just throw the ball to the back, and we're going to be in a great situation, all right? We end up holding it here, all right, guys? And it's a screen. This is surge here. So now we got a QB scrambling. We throw the ball downfield. We got a legal lineman downfield, okay? We can't throw the ball down the field on a screen late like that when we got O-lineman down the field. So that put us in a bad situation, and we had to end up punting here, okay? All right, that's all I got, Coach.
Film don't lie, Neely. Film don't lie, bro.
No, the film don't lie, man. And you can just see, even from Coach Brett, that emphasis and attention to detail. You know, when it's 3rd and 5, don't run the route 4 yards, run the route 6, because we didn't have any business punting on that possession. When you get a reception and you're a yard short of the 1st down, as he would say, run the freaking yardage, man. Run the route. You know, go past the sticks. That's something that you will hear him preach to those receivers. The attention to detail, to know the situational football, where we are, what hash run, where's the yardage, where's the marker, what routes get you there, and don't come up short on it. So a lot of things that we left out there, even in the dominant victories that we want to clean up going into this Saturday's game against Tennessee State.
No doubt, still some things to clean up, and then the cleanup man himself. He closes out this segment with his observations of
Coach Prime took the stage, man, and even got into who was going to make this trip and who wasn't going to make this trip and why. So that's just the way it goes around there. Team is in there clapping right now, man. So they're getting into it. I hear Coach Prime playing his blues music, his R&B, if you will. So let's go to the clip of Coach Prime with his good, bad, and the ugly from this past weekend leading into this one.
We're going to be great is we got to understand the good, but we got to challenge the bad. We can't be complacent with the bad and act like the bad that exists. We got to identify the bad, perfect the bad to make it great. We preached over and over and over and over and over and over all week about we can't do these things, and we go out there and do them. We can be good, but we won't be great. We won't be great. We won't dominate, not consistently, if we keep the foolishness up. You know where it starts? Practice. Starts practice. We got up there and went in, tempo. How many penalties? 2 penalties on defense in tempo. Started off with the bull jump out the gate. Now, I want us to watch one reason why it ain't no way in the world we can be great. Coach Markinson, Gunner, you guys are really, really good at what you do. I don't know who's coaching these guys, because I know it ain't y'all, because they ain't doing a darn thing that y'all are telling them to do. They go down there and just kick it. So we expect our defensive linemen to be dominant, but we go down there with the bull jump. Just let it run. I'm not going to even, just let it run. Just watch it. Watch out. Watch the effort. That's unacceptable. Turn on the lights. That's unacceptable. We cannot win like that. And ironically, are you taking any of these guys on the trip? Any of the extra guys? One. Who was that? He was down there on that tape? Where were you? Okay, grade that. Give me the grade, because if he don't grade above 50, he's not going either, because that's unacceptable. Guys that are been added, prayerfully play in this game. These are all the add-ons that the coaches gave me, and it is what it is. We still got a day at work. Let's work our butts off, guys.
There you have it, Neely. I jokingly call you the Russian judge. That's the real Russian judge right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to throw out the highs and the low and get that median, because some judges, he don't care. He don't care. In the words of Dave Chappelle when he played Rick James, I wish I had 2 more hands so I could get that 4 thumbs down. So it just is what it is. Hey, speaking of it, it's going by right now. But yeah, the standard is the standard, and it's not negotiable. There's a certain level of excellence that is anticipated as the team comes out of meetings. And that's what it's going to be. That's what the expectation is, Chuck. And that's what Coach Prime demands from this team.
No doubt. The standard is the standard, and it is a commitment to excellence, and he reiterated that in that piece there. It is a commitment to excellence, and if you're not committed to excellence, you won't even make the trip. So he's dead serious about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I joked about it the other night, that it's much like when the J-Sets tried. You can make the J-Sets in the summer, but you might not ever perform at halftime if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's the same standard with this team. We have guys on the team week in and week out that may not travel because of how they practice.
No doubt. So let's take a look at our opponent. They lost last week to Eastern Washington, number 13 ranked team in the country. But they had a much more improved Tennessee State team as opposed to last year. Balance is the name of the game with this Tennessee State Tiger football team.
Hey, Chuck.
Yo.
I gotta say this to you before you go there, Cliff. Coach Prime is headed your way. I'm watching your background, right? I'm downstairs in the team meeting room in Jacksonville. You're up there in the lobby, and I'm seeing people hug back there. And I'm just, hey man, let me tell y'all something out there. If you came up here to cheat on your spouse, don't walk behind in that lobby with Chuck, because you're gonna get outed. I'm seeing people walk behind you, they like hugging and they high five. Hey man, see, look, I'm helping y'all out, Tiger. I'm down here with nobody but football. Chuck is up there in the main lobby, general public, gen pop, and I'm seeing people behind him embracing pleasantries. They're like, man, they just don't know. YouTube does not disappear.
YouTube never disappears. Hey, good looking out. Good PSA for the Tiger fans who, are milling about in the lobby. So
yeah, go. If you come into the Hilton, used to be the Atlas Market, coming to the team hotel in the next 15, 20 minutes. Don't walk behind Charles Bishop if you ain't who you're supposed to be with.
No doubt about it. Man, it only takes you to point things like that out, man. Gosh, man. This is my part. Let's take a look at the Tennessee State Tigers. I had an opportunity to talk to columnist Mike Organ of the Tennessean, who covers the Tennessee State Tigers. Let's take a look at his overview of Tennessee State from last week.
And welcome into the pregame show. And we have with us a longtime award-winning journalist from the Tennessean who covers the OVC and Tennessee State University, Mike Organ. Welcome into the pregame show.
It's good to be with you, Charles. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, when we take a look at this Tennessee State team, tough opening week, lost to number 13 ranked Eastern Washington, but this is a very talented Tennessee State football team.
Yeah, it's a talented team. It's Eddie George did a really good job. One, they developed some players last year, and different from a lot of times when you see a new coach come in, they didn't run off a whole lot of players. Like you see a lot. These guys wanted to play for Eddie George. A lot of these guys are local guys. Of course, anybody would know Eddie George's name. So you didn't see him run off a lot of players. There wasn't the big defection issue, and a lot of players developed under Eddie, and a really good coaching staff last year, which included Hugh Jackson, who's now, of course, the head coach at Grambling. He was the offensive coordinator last year, but. Not only that, developing the players from last year, but also Eddie brought in, I want to say 20 transfers and 12 from the FBS programs, and all 12 of those are going to play a role right out the chute. So that was a big boost there, was bringing in those FBS transfers.
No doubt. When we take a look at this Tennessee State team from an offensive standpoint, who are some players to watch? One guy who caught my eye was quarterback Draylon Ellis.
Yeah, Draylon Ellis is the most significant, even though they brought in a lot of FBS transfers. Draylon Ellis is a transfer from Austin Peay, and he is by far the most significant, obviously because of the position. He comes in as a quarterback, Charles, that for the first time in 10 years, Tennessee State comes into a season knowing who its quarterback is and confident in its quarterback. They've come into the season before knowing who the quarterback was, but not with great confidence. Just by process of elimination, they had to go with whoever they had at the position. Mm-hmm. This is the first time they've had a quarterback that they're comfortable with since I can remember since Mike German in 2012. So it's been 10 years. And Draylon Ellis comes in having thrown the ball for 3,800 yards in his first two seasons, or his 2 seasons at Austin Peay, was OVC co-rookie of the year, co-newcomer of the year, along with TSU running back Devon Starling, and was second team all OVC. They didn't have to do a whole lot to cater the offense to his strengths. It was already there. And so he's the biggest piece that they've added, along with they went out and found some receivers for him and a lot of defensive players.
When I take a look at the Eastern Washington game, Tennessee State, great balance, 290 yards rushing, 257 yards passing. You juxtapose that to last year's opener, where they only rushed for 137 yards and passed for 180 yards. It's been a significant improvement on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and that balance that you mentioned also was a key, because Eddie George came out of last season, and the first thing he said was, we're too slow. He had not, that was one of the things that had passed him. He didn't know that the college game, the speed at which the college game was played. So he still had his team huddling and at a slower pace. And so he came out last season saying, we got to pick things up. We've got to up this tempo, and we got to get out of the huddle. And he wanted to do that, but at the same time, he wanted to keep the same balance. An Eddie George team obviously is always going to want to run the ball, and he wants to throw the ball as well. He wants an equal balance of throwing the ball. So he wanted to do that, but he wanted to do it a lot faster. So that's what they spent the spring and the preseason doing, was installing a new offense, or at least a new offense with those attributes. And couldn't have been more happy with the first game than they were with that balance. Now that the turnovers were another issue, the penalties were another issue, but the balance, as you mentioned, was there and still there.
Sure thing. When we take a look over on the defensive side of the ball, they got a couple of big ones up front, all OVC preseason, all OVC, Teray Jones or Darius Patterson. And then right behind them, you got James Green. I'll talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball for Blue.
Well, it started a game without James Green because of an injury, and then all the other players played well until they just started getting hurt. And you saw the defense kind of fall apart. They lost Patterson and Jones, the two you mentioned. They lost Devon Hawkins, a defensive end for a transfer from Kentucky, and then they lost J.J. McClendon, a cornerback, and then they lost Deshaun Bryant, the middle linebacker. All to injuries. Now, all came back except for, Patterson and Jones came back. Hawkins came back and then got ejected for a spearing or a targeting call. So, and I don't remember which of the two it was. It was either spearing or targeting. I don't know, because they never clarified it. But anyway, the injuries really knocked them out. But when all those players were out there, you liked what they were doing. They were giving Eastern Washington some trouble. They were getting a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, and you liked what you saw. And it was living up to about what we expected. Last year, this defense caught a lot of people by surprise, was ahead of the offense, which that was a surprise under defense coordinator Brandon Fisher, who's the son of former Titans coach Jeff Fisher. And they played really well last year. For the most part, they had some downfalls, but for the most part, they were surprising. And Brandon Fisher told me at the beginning of this season, he felt like he had about 12 or 13 starters, players that were capable of starting on that defense. And I guess you say, well, you only need 11. Well, that's not true. You need depth. And to say you only have 12 or 13 starters says you were lacking depth. He told me this year and Eddie helped him out by bringing a lot of transfers for the defense, more defensive transfers and offensive transfers. He said, I feel more like we probably are the 20 to 22 player range when it comes to starters. So the expectations were high that the defense would not only be as good as it was last year, but that it would be better. And when it was at full strength, it definitely was better.
Wow. Well, Mike, let's take a look at the keys to the game for Tennessee State. What do you? All right. And there you have it, Mike Organ of the Tennessee, who covers the Tennessee State Tigers, who gave us an overview, if you will, of Tennessee State. Now we have with us Coach Tim Brewster. Coach, welcome into the pregame show.
Charles, it's great to be with you.
I tell you what, Coach, you are famous for your warm-up speeches, if you will, the night before. Kind of talk us through what you were telling the Jackson State Tigers there, because Neely was setting things up.
Absolutely. And you know, we played a great opening game against FAM last week. Players accepted the challenge, went into Miami. You know, we had some distractions, you know, with the water situation in Jackson, but I thought the kids showed a real maturity in our preparation. Our preparation gave us great confidence, and we played extremely well in that football game. Shedeur Sanders was absolutely off the chain. I mean, he was, you know, 29 out of 32. We did a great job protecting him. Our defense was raw. I mean, it was just an outstanding overall performance by our team. Now, okay, we come to Memphis to play Tennessee State, and, you know, it's game 2. What I've known from game 1 to game 2 is when you make the most improvement. That's when, as a football team in the season, you make the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. And we not only expect that of the players, but we demand that of the players. My tight ends had a really nice opening game, okay? I'm asking them, shoot, we're going up, we're going higher. We're going to play higher. Everybody's got to elevate for this game against Tennessee State. They've got a good football team. Eddie George has done a great job at Tennessee State, okay? But understand this, we accept the challenge. We're here for a reason, you know, and we're here to win and go back to Jackson 2-0. That's the name of the game for us.
That's the name of the game. And Coach, before I let you go, your tight ends last week, that was an added dimension to the offense. Shedeur completed passes to 11 different receivers, and your tight ends are part of that group. If I'm not mistaken, 3 different tight ends caught passes from Shedeur last week.
It was really exciting, Charles, to see, you know, all 3 guys have worked extremely hard. I'm a very demanding coach, okay? I'm demanding in practice of the details, and I expect excellence when we step on the field. And so I was really proud of the performance we got out of the tight ends. And my challenge to the tight ends is they got a lot of attaboys after last week's game. You know, a lot of people telling the tight ends, hey, you guys did a great, but you know what? Last week's game means nothing. How are you going to play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in the Liberty Bowl? That's my challenge to my guys. We accept the challenge. We're going to go out and play. We're going to do our part in helping the Jackson State Tigers win.
No doubt. Coach Brew, you always bring it hard and heavy. Thank you for stopping by the pregame show and giving us that insight that our Tiger fans love listening to.
Charles, listen, appreciate you, man. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, yes, indeed. That was Coach Tim Brewster. He was Tigers coach. He does a tremendous job. That was an added dimension last week to the offense. Those tight ends getting involved into the game, not only catching passes, but blocking as well. Go ahead, Neil.
Chuck. Tim Brewster.
Yeah, bro.
But let me tell you something we got right now. Brace yourselves, Tiger Nation. Live on YouTube and Facebook, streaming across all social networks of the pregame show. We got strength and conditioning coach, Mo Sims, and that Sims was with one him. That's what one him. So we're going to bring him up next, because when you look at what this Tiger team has done, offense, defense, special teams, it is a direct result of this offseason program that we had. So we're going to bring in Mo Sims up next. Coach Mo. Charles Bishop.
Coach Mo Sims, welcome into the pregame show.
Mr. Bishop, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. So a lot of texts. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just kind of low.
A lot of the text that I've been getting is in regards to the way this Tiger team looked last week against Florida A&M. Just talk about what you brought to this Tiger team in terms of your strength and conditioning program this past offseason.
I would say it definitely started with a lot of discipline. We had a lot of discipline issues. And then from that point on, it was just hard work. A system that these guys believed in, just brought a lot of physicality. togetherness and bond together. We get a lot of times speaking on each other's why. So a lot of team bonding, letting the team, you play with these guys, you travel in different places. So you got to be able to know who you're playing with. So just different systems that they were used to. A lot of buy-in. So it's just bonding and molding these guys together.
And you mentioned buy-in because I think that's a huge part of the strength and conditioning program in the offseason. But just talk about players in terms of just buying into what it is that you were bringing to them because you see the physical results. These guys' bodies are really transformed.
So just from a buy-in standpoint, it was just a system. It wasn't a guessing game on what they were doing. I love education, educating them on why we're doing what we're doing. So of course, everybody knows you're going to squat, bench press, and power clean and things of that nature. We dove in deep on mobility, so that was something that they weren't used to as far as going through a complete mobility session. Because strength is one thing, but if you're not functionally able to utilize that strength, it doesn't mean anything. My job is to power lifters. My job is to create or enhance already good athletes.
Well, I tell you what, Mo, you have really brought another element to this Jackson State team. Coach Prime has talked about dominate, and it all starts with that strength and conditioning program in the offseason. We saw the proof and put it in game one. We will continue to watch this Jackson State team as they matriculate through the season. But the base, the foundation, if you will, has come through Coach Mo Sims. Thank you.
Appreciate everything you do for us.
No doubt. That was Coach Mo Sims, the strength and conditioning coach for Jackson State. And he gave you the baseline foundation of what this Jackson State football team has put in the pace. And you kind of got an opportunity to see that at 59-3 win over Florida A&M. As we welcome my friend Neely back in, as he's grabbing guys left and right. Yeah, we were just talking about what Tim Boucher has brought to this program, Mo Sims, two new additions to this Jackson State program that we've talked about extensively. And to
I bet you won't put it with two M's across the screen, though. I bet you that. Now, he was just walking off, man. I had to make it laugh. Mo Sims has been a big addition to this program, this off-season condition, and even what they're doing during the season. You can see the results out there on the field. Yeah. Alan Ricard just walked by. He acted like he don't want to come on, so that's how I put him on the spot. What about special teams coach Alan Ricard, man? Let's bring him on.
Anything for the pregame.
We got to talk to Coach Ricard.
Y'all had a big week last week. This week coming.
Coach, how you doing? Coach Alan Ricard, special teams coach for our Jackson State Tigers. Welcome into the pregame show.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, we've talked so much about what you bring to this Jackson State team from a special team standpoint. But the thing that jumps out for me is the physicality on each of the special teams unit. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh man, our guys are being real physical, and I told them this quote last week. I got it from Lawless. It's one of my favorite movies. And if you ever saw it, anybody, all the people out there that have seen this movie, they know where I'm coming from. Forrest, he told his younger brother that it's not violence that sets a man apart. It's the distance he's willing to go. Basically meaning that you keep being physical and violent over and over again. And that was the quote and the message I gave the guys last week. And they responded. They responded with being physical to the point where Florida A&M stopped returning their kickoff returns, and they could have.
Psychologically, what does that do to a team when you keep pounding?
Submission. They quit, and that's what only the strong survive. And we were the stronger team, and we were going into that game understanding that we were going to be physical and set the tone. We start a game off with special teams, either a kickoff or a kickoff return. So we're looking for tone setters. We want to be tone setters and get our offense and defense started in the right way.
Well, Coach, I have to say, from my vantage point, you are the ultimate tone setter. You are definitely one of the louder coaches out there. But it's what you bring to this Jackson State football team, what you bring to the special team, as to the reason why there's such a dominant unit on this team.
Well, it starts with the guys. They've been real receptive to the coaching. They're going out there executing in practice at a high level, and just like Coach Prime said, we got to see it in practice. So Coach Prime has he's always emphasizing that if you're not a starter on offense and defense, then you better be a heck of a special teams player. And I get a lot of guys during the week wanting to get on that plane and coming to me asking what they can do, and that's good that we got a bunch of guys buying in the special teams, understanding it's the third phase of the game and that it could be the difference. And we trying to be difference makers. We just don't want to go out there and just do bare minimum. We trying to have a big impact on the game, in the return game, cover game on punt and kickoff. We're trying to impact the game, and that's week in and week out that we're trying to do that.
Coach, man, as always, thank you for stopping into the pregame show and giving us that insight. Like you said, that special teams, it is a third phase, and it is one that you take very, very seriously. And our Jackson State Tiger fan base will definitely appreciate what you bring to this Jackson State football team.
Thanks a lot, Charles. It's always good to speak with you guys and come on the pregame show.
No doubt about it, Coach. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Coach Allen, our special teams guru for our Jackson State football team. Neely, man, you bringing them left and right down there, man. That's all right.
Yeah, man. You know, one thing we try to do with these shows is, you know, you set up in one spot, I set up another, and we grab coaches and players. Offensive unit just went into some meetings with Coach Brett Bartolone. If we're still on when they get out, we can grab some of the receivers of Coach T.C. Taylor, offensive coordinator. They burned the midnight oil, man. Like even last night, when all the meetings were done, offensive unit still met again, and so they're just to my right here, getting some meetings in, as well as Coach Andre Hart, his linebackers. I see that activity is picking up in the main lobby where you are, so I then want to caution Tiger Nation again that if you're pulling up to Memphis and you're pulling up to the Hilton out east, which is the team hotel, be careful who you walk through that lobby holding hands with. If you ain't who you were supposed to be with, Charles Bishop's camera is going to get you. So just, hey, man, somebody got to take care of the people. I am on this show as the voice of the people. So I'm telling y'all, be careful behind Chuck Bishop's camera. See, behind me, I just got a welcome sign. You can't even get behind me. All the activities in front of me. You're safe down here. If you got to hold hands in public with who you're not supposed to be with, come down here to the basement level where the team meetings on. Walk by all you want. But up there in that lobby, the block is hot.
The voice of the people has spoken. Well, I'll tell you what, Daly, let's transition. Let's kind of talk about the keys to the game. Mike Oregon talked about Tennessee State in terms of they wanting to have some balance. Last week, they really displayed that balance, over 250 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing. Two main cogs on that offensive side of the ball for Tennessee State is their quarterback, Traylon Ellis. He is a transfer to Tennessee State from Austin Peay. He threw for almost 4,000 yards. Had a big game last week, both rushing and passing. And Devon Strong for Tennessee State, he rushed for 207 yards for Tennessee State Tigers. What do our Jackson State Tigers have to do to slow down Big Blue for Tennessee State?
Well, I think we got to do just that, what you talked about. They're going to run the ball. We talked on the Wednesday night show about teams taking on the characteristics of its head coach. I mean, it's just a culture thing. So they're going to want to run the ball. Chuck, you ever heard the old saying that you got two quarterbacks, you really ain't got one?
There you go. Right.
I'm going to add something. I want to add a log on the front. When you talk about balance, a lot of times that balance is because you ain't got one thing that you do well. So you're trying to alleviate some pressures on one of those things. So either you got some questionable quarterback play, so you're trying to play 50-50 ball, or you got a shaky run game. But more teams than not, and more times than not, what you do well, you keep doing. So when you show me a team that, oh, we're balanced with this and that, and I look at the scoreboard and you lost.
Great point.
I think that on the other side of the ball for Tennessee State, what they got to do is what teams used to try to struggle to do against a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady or dominant quarterback. Is you got to keep them on the bench. Shedeur Sanders, sophomore season, first game, 4 touchdowns. Tennessee State is not built to withstand a 4-touchdown lead. The only way to keep him from throwing 4 touchdowns is to keep him on the sideline. Keep him on the sideline by running the ball, controlling the clock. And I tell you this, Chuck, you ain't even got to be getting a lot of first downs. You because you're just eating game time. If I limit your possessions, I limit what you do with the ball. But here's the trick shot there. Our defense gets takeaways. Our defense scores. Our special teams get takeaways. Our special teams score. So when you say, hey, we're going to keep Shedeur Sanders on the bench and keep that bevy of wide receivers on the sideline by running the ball and milking this clock, go back and look at the FAMU game, how fast the first quarter went. And go look at the number of runs that both teams did in the first quarter. That clock was running. Tennessee State, to have true opportunity here, in my mind, they're going to have to do it. They have to run the ball, take on the characteristics of the head coach, and be a run team. Having said that, the way our defensive line is constructed, the way our linebackers are constructed, the way our safeties love to hit and will want to come down in that box. Dennis Thurman plays aggressive. I don't think it will work. I'm just saying that's the only chance that they have to stay in this game with this high-powered offense, with a defense that scores, gets takeaways and scores, and special teams that knows how to flip field position by putting them back deep, pinning you deep, or taking one to the house when you kick ass.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we had a big punt return last year in that game that really was huge in terms of a momentum changer, if you will. Yeah. And that was huge in that game. You know, one of the defensive tenets of Dennis Thurman, number one, stop the run. So that is going to be a huge feather in the cap for our Jackson State Tigers tomorrow. When you take a look at it last week, Tennessee State, they had 6 fumbles. They were fortunate enough to get 4 of them back, but they put the ball on the turf last week 6 times. So that's going to be a huge thing for our Jackson Tigers in terms of getting turnovers in this game. And we know that defense, they're hyper aggressive. They are going to go after the ball.
Hey man, it's Dietrich Lockridge, it's called you Big Truck, the stat man. I didn't realize they had fumbled the ball 6 times. Even if they recovered all 6 of them, that's a lot of loose balls out there. I think we fumbled once. Backup quarterback JP fumbled, but was able to get it back. 6 fumbles, didn't realize that. But I will say this, you know, as a feather in the cap for Tennessee State, 200-plus yards is 200-plus yards.
Yeah, it is.
If you get 200 yards on the ground, I don't give a damn who you playing. You're doing something. You know, that is a lot of yards in college ball. But so clearly they have a backs that they like to feature. But I'm telling you, even with their playing up in the division last week, they hadn't seen a defensive line like we have. They haven't, and it's not seeing a defensive line like we have, as in the one we saw against FAMU. I mean, they haven't seen a defensive line like the one we possess. The depth, you know, when you have a Devontae go out and the Juice Reynolds come in, like where's the drop off? You know, and you get Juice out on the edge and Niles Gaddy on the other edge, or you get linebackers out there like B. Hop, Baron Hobson, and Aubrey Miller on the field at the same time. Huggins coming up from safety that doesn't mind hitting. Pick your poison. You know, where do you go? So I think it's going to be interesting. What do they say in boxing? Styles make fights.
Styles make fights.
And so I think what Tiger Nation, Jackson State Tiger Nation should be prepared for is a contrasted styles, not only in the way these 2 teams play, but the way they're coached. Eddie George is a Hall of Famer. But he walks in the room, you may not notice him. We got a Hall of Famer, but you're going to know he's down the street. You know, because the bravado is there. You know, it's in your face. And our team plays that way. Our offense coordinator, Brett Bartolone, when you walk in his office, there's a placard that says PhD in attacking. You know, he does not leave the offense to just, you've heard it all your life, Chuck. Take what the defense gives you.
Yeah.
Take what we have an attack built up. We don't give a damn what you're trying to give us. We're going to get what we want.
Well, before we get out of here, Coach Otis Ridley, you know he is always a staple on the pregame show. He wanted to stop by. Let me bring him in. Here you go, Coach.
What's up, Neely?
You tried to avoid me. You said if you come on that you wanted to be on with Chuck, but you got me. You got me.
So I couldn't find you. I know how to set up work. I just couldn't find you.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I'm down here in the team meeting space, as you know, down in the lower level. And I told Chuck that I was doing that to protect Tiger Nation
because I didn't want a live camera up in that lobby when people checking in with folks they ain't supposed to be with. So I've been warning Tiger Nation, don't walk by Chuck camera because it's live and somebody ain't the news gonna beat you back to Jackson.
It is a dangerous situation in the lobby at the Hilton. It's a very dangerous situation.
Coach O, you have been with this team since day one under Coach Prime. Actually, you and T.C. Taylor were here before Coach Prime got here. So you have seen the evolution of growth. Your fingerprints are on it as player personnel. What excites you about this upcoming game and the rest of the season?
Well, I'll tell you this. We're built for any battle. We're built for any battle. Every woman thinks that. Some women are built for playing, some women are built for seeing. But I think we can do it either way. You know what I mean? So, quarterback like two back there, head man like Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. We have a very I don't even know the words to put to it. We have a very put together staff. We have a very well put together staff. Guys who really believe in themselves first, and then they believe in these kids, they believe in these players. And the players have started believing in themselves, and the players believe in the scheme that they're putting together. And they go out and execute at a high level. They're having fun. It's fun to practice. And that's not always the case in college football. That's not always the case in football, period. But it's fun to go to practice every day. It's fun to compete. And it's fun to see those guys really change their lives one day at a time.
Yeah, outstanding, man. You know football like no other. And one of the things we've heard tonight from Coach Brewster and in the past from Coach Prime is that the biggest improvement is between week 1 and week 2. And I know Coach Prime wants to clean up those penalties. What are you looking for in this Saturday game from a discipline-wise, alignment, assignment, improvement-wise? We know we can score. We know we can stop people. But what's left to clean up? Where's that growth opportunity?
Attention to detail. Attention to detail. And that comes with discipline. We want to be smart, fast, tough, and disciplined. But attention to detail is inside that discipline. And so when we pay attention like keys, if you're a D-line, the ball don't move, what you going for? It's just small things. We ain't gotta complicate it at all. And so these guys have been chewed out this week for those mistakes. And I think they're going to respond well come tomorrow.
Yeah, final question for you, Coach, with a statement to preface it. Folks would think with 59-3 that we had a light week. But we practiced and got coached this week as if we lost 59-3. Talk to us about that mindset.
So for those folks that think that, when we got off the plane back from Miami at 11:30 Sunday night in Jackson, Mississippi, guys were back in the office at 5 in the morning getting ready for Tennessee State. We are a 7-day-a-week operation right now. I don't look for an off day for another 4 or 5 months after the celebration bowl if I can help it. And that's the same with my counterparts and my coworkers. We all want to work through the celebration bowl. And if they let us keep playing past the celebration bowl, we'll let them do that too. So we're here for the long ride, man. So with that being said, we're excited about this season. We're excited about the potential that the season holds for us as individuals and as a team collectively. And I'm forever grateful to Tiger Nation for supporting us like they do. When I log online and I go to social media and I see them talking their noise, I know it's backed up by facts. So we're excited about that. And Tiger Nation, don't let up on it. Keep talking your noise. Keep doing what you do. Because guess what? We're going to keep backing you up.
Yes, sir. Coach Otis Ridley, Director of Player Personnel, Swiss Army knife for the program, does it all. Coach Prime's right hand, he's going to pick up that phone and text a call and put O on the mission. Coach O, we appreciate you as always stopping by the pregame show. And let me also say personally, I appreciate, man, sitting near you on bus 3 when you go to and from practice in the stadium. You make that bus ride enjoyable.
Same here, Neely. And you're a part of the family. You and Chuck, man, the pregame show. And look, it's a lot of people that want your guys' type of access. And guess what? They can't get it. So with that being said, we appreciate everything you guys do for us, man. And as a friend, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Coach O. We'll see you later on tonight, and of course, see you tomorrow at the game.
Yeah, take care.
Go Tigers. That was Coach Otis Ridley as we wait for Chuck Bishop to come back in here live from the pregame show in Memphis, Tennessee for the Southern Heritage Classic. You got Neely here, Bishop in the main lobby. I just saw a couple of baddies walk by. Back behind you, might need to switch places, Chuck. I don't want you to get in trouble up there. This week and weekend, man, the Cochran firm, attorney Terrence Harris, is the title sponsor.
and cannot forget Chambers and Gaylord, attorneys at law in Jackson, who've been with us since day one. And Amber Slaughter, we got BioSteel. Hey, man, sponsors coming on board each and every Wednesday and Saturday for the pregame show, and Friday. This is a Friday show. So whenever we roll out there with us, we are live at the Hilton in Memphis, out east. Used to be the Adams Mart for you old school folks. This is where the team is staying. Had the final practice today. Had the final team meeting this evening with Coach Lewis, the speaker, and Coach Prime, of course. Have a couple of meetings in the morning with breakfast. This is one of those games, Chuck, that the schedule kind of changes. You can even feel it because we're typically playing at 1 or 3 p.m. and this is at 6 p.m. So everything is kind of pushed back, and you want to get off your feet and rest and that kind of thing. So tomorrow is going to be a different Saturday than we're accustomed to movement-wise.
No doubt, tomorrow's going to be a little bit different. You talk about the Southern Heritage Classic, Jackson State, Tennessee State. A lot of pageantry around this game, Neely. But you also have the historic tie-in, Big John Merritt, who coached at Jackson State, who brought Jackson State to prominence, if you will, to this Jackson State that we know now. And then he leaves and goes to Tennessee State. And, so you have this historical tie-in, this historical context, if you will. And Big John Merritt, quite honestly, he was the Coach Prime of his day. Full of swagger. I've talked to the old heads, they say when Coach Merritt showed up in the Cadillac and had the cigar in hand, you were going to sign with him some type way. So it is phenomenal.
Here's my commitment to you, Chuck, in honor of my frat, Big John Merritt. I'm going to get a short sleeve dress shirt with a tie and that hat and cigar, and I'm going to be Big John on the sideline for one of these games this year, just chew on the cigar. For the pregame show, I'm going Big John Merritt because for everything he did at Tennessee State, we have to appreciate he was our coach first at Jackson State. And there's a rich history between these two programs, but also between these two cities, these two college towns. A lot of athletes who were prominent athletes in Jackson and Jackson Public Schools went on to play ball at Tennessee State.
Yes, indeed. That you have to nail that historic context in with Jackson State and Tennessee State, man. There's a phenomenal history, both schools. Blue bloods, if you will, in HBCU athletics.
Yeah, Super Nat. I'm thinking about Bo Brown.
Bo Brown, Super Nat, exactly.
Yeah. Who went up there and played ball and made their names, household names in the Nashville area and Tennessee area, playing at Tennessee State. But they were from Jackson. They were Jackson kids that went there. And like you said, Coach, when you had Big John Merritt here at Jackson State and then he leaves Jackson and goes to Tennessee State, that's kind of where this started to crescendo, where you had this, hey, I don't like you.
There it is. Well, buddy, let's wrap this thing up. Any final score predictions?
Well, I always got to go with the Neely predictions at the end. Remember that movie, Take Me to the Greek? I can give you a little Jimmy the Greek. Here's what I think, Chuck, about Saturday's game against Tennessee State. I think they're going to slow the ball down. Whether those yards come or not, it is going to eat some clock. So I anticipate offensively, and you're the stat guy, offensively we will have less possessions. However, I believe we're going to score on defense, and I ain't saying that because Coach Trevor just walked by. So, and he laughs, he heard it. I am literally saying that whereas we may have one less offensive touchdown, our defense is going to score off one of those turnovers, whether it is a pick six or a fumble, scoop and score. You told me they running back put the ball on the ground 6 times last week. He's going to put it on the ground another 6 times in Juice Reynolds' system. So I think we're going to get a turnover and score off it. I'm expecting something that didn't happen in Miami to happen in Tennessee here in Memphis. I think Zay Bolden or 3 different Kevin Coleman is going to take one to the house. I think we're going to score on special teams. I do believe that Shadur Sanders still gets 3+ touchdowns. So 21, 14, give me a couple field goals from Modern G, baby. Jackson State 42, Tennessee State 10.
I'll tell you what, dude, great minds think alike. I tend to go with you in regards to that special team. And just the fact that this defense is so aggressive, they create turnovers, which creates, an extra offensive possession. I will go with you with regards to that Jackson State 45, Tennessee State 10, because I have not seen many teams score more than 3 times in Jackson State. So you know, there's always meat on the bone with regards to this defense, but I expect them to do what they always do. Dominic.
Gonna be a dominant performance. Looking forward to it. It has been announced on the Jackson State social media platforms that on YouTube and Facebook, via the Southern Heritage Classic platforms, you will be able to watch the game live. So if you go to Southern Heritage Classic's YouTube page or their Facebook page tomorrow, you will be able to watch the game live.
No doubt about it, man. Let's close this thing up. And you know how we always close this thing in the words, water words of Coach Edwin Lipscomb. We got a team by golly. We're going to fight by golly. We're going to win by golly. Until next time, it's Charles Bishop. It's Neely. It's the Pregame Show.
Get out that lobby, y'all. Chuck camera hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the Pregame. With your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready, because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the Pregame.